Hey everyone, just wanted to give a quick video. It's Friday, just after the 4th of July. We just moved into our new office. I wanted to show you very quickly what a canary rollout using Istio looks like without going into all the nitty-gritty details, which I did a full video on already. So here you can see this is actually my application here on the right. You can see it's a bunch of blue squares. Each of these blue squares represents an instance of my application. It's actually just a pile of iframes loading my application. And then on the left hand, we got Codefresh, which is going to run this pipeline. And then I've got my my window here where we can actually watch what's going on. So let's make a change. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the application to be yellow instead of blue. This is a simple little Go app I wrote called Color Coded. You can find it on GitHub. All right, we just changed the color, so it's going to be yellow. And the idea behind a canary rollout is that you give a certain portion of your traffic, the new version of your application, and then as long as it's healthy, you ramp it up until it's 100%, then you get rid of the old version of your application. So we're going to do this very simply and quickly, and if you have questions, you can watch the longer version of the video. I'm going to tell it to go yellow now, and we're going to push this. All right, so this is going to kick off my build here on the left, which will build a new version of my image and then actually start the rollout. So here we can see go yellow. Now it's going to take a second to actually build this thing. And we've got it all represented blue here. Now, what I've done is in this demo, I've actually sort of abbreviated how quickly the rollout is going to happen, just for demo's sake. There is an option in the plugin here where you can say, I want this to roll out, to take longer. I want to give, 20 minutes for a portion of traffic to be validated, whatever you want to do. And then you can set a custom health check. In this case, what I've done to make it easy to visualize is I've made it so that the pods, every time they restart, that count, that's what it's actually looking for in the health check. And here you can see the canary version is initializing, this yellow version. And we can see that Istio is starting to route traffic to it. Once this is complete, we should be able to see some of these boxes turning yellow. And then as we go along, it's going to replace more and more. And I think I told it to do 35% of the traffic should go to the canary version. So we'll let this finish and we'll refresh it. And there we go. We see 35% roughly of the squares are yellow. Now, the great thing about Istio is it doesn't matter how many pods you have. You can do this with any number of pods that you have. So if I only had one of each pod, I could still route 35% traffic. If I had one yellow pod and 50 blue pods, I could still send 35% of the traffic to the yellow pod and then ramp it up. So that's really great because we do have canary with plain, Kubernetes, no Istio involved. But the only way to manipulate the traffic mix using plain Kubernetes is with the number of pods that you have. So this is a lot more flexible. It's really what I recommend for people. So now you can see on the left-hand side, it's doing a health check, and now it's going to up the weight to be 70%. Now in the real world, we have to deal with a health check that can actually have consequences, something that will actually cause the canary rollout to stop and to go back. So what we're going to do here is we're going to actually initiate that. And yep, we can see that looks like this is 70% of the traffic is yellow. Now I set it up so that every time I click on one of these, it's going to kill the pod. And so you can see that I now have created these restarts here. And now we have 3 of these pods have restarted. Let's kill one more. And now if I reload this, I should get, there we go. Even though one of these pods is stopped, Kubernetes is basically going to only serve up the healthy one. Now, once on the left-hand side, it completes the health check. It's going to say, hey, these new pods that you've been rolling out, they crash too much. And again, that health check is customizable, but we set it just to look at the number of times the pod is restarted. And once it does that, it's going to say this canary rollout has failed. And it will actually swing the traffic back all the way to blue. And so we will see the yellow version disappear. And here we can see we have detected the error. It says canary has been removed from the network, but it's going to leave the pods in place. This is mostly for debugging purposes. Maybe I want to go in and look at it. Optionally, you can remove them afterwards as well. And we set it up so that it exits with an error and says, hey, that rollout you did, it didn't work. So, normally at this point, we'd probably make an edit of some kind and roll forward. Let's do that, and then we'll check and make sure that the traffic mix has gone back. Let's see. There we go. You can see everything's now blue. And now let's go make just one more commit to our app, and we'll just say, we could actually just restart this pipeline. Oh no, because the pod count wouldn't reset. So we're just going to delete a space right here. Get commit issue a fix. Get push origin. All right, now this will kick off a new pipeline, and we'll actually see this old version will disappear once the pipeline gets to it, and we'll see the full rollout happen. Now, I'm going to let this one play out, but while I am, I just want to mention that if you want to understand how this works, and I haven't even talked about Helm and how this is involved in this particular process, there is a full version of this that we do as a webinar, which you can watch at codefresh.io/events, or you can see it on our blog, codefresh.io/blog. And we repost it periodically. We reposted it today. So you'll see, this canary webinar posted. But this is at least just to show you what we're actually doing and get you excited about it. We're going to let this run, and it's updating. Yeah, there we go. It's killing the broken version, our broken yellow version, and it's spun up a new working yellow version. And now it's starting the canary rollout once again. Now, canary is sort of, we talk a lot about shift left testing, shift testing left, which is about testing earlier, more often, more deeply. Canary is really about shifting right, which is testing your application as it goes out. And in this case, the plugin, it's basically a native step we're building in Codefresh, doesn't really care on what level you want to canary. So you can canary an entire Helm package, you can canary a full stack, you can canary just a deployment and a service, and it will canary that for you. So let's look at this. We'll get 35% yellow. There we go. Again, you can customize the times, you can customize the health checks. There's Jacob back there walking by. That's the great thing about our new office, about this window right here. So we're gonna let that run. Now we're not going to cause any restarts on these pods, so that the health check will come back as clean, so that we can go all the way to full blue. And this whole thing, we built that Docker image in about 17 seconds. That's not bad. Okay, now it's starting the canary rollout. Sometimes it will be visible before it's quite completed. There we go. Now we're getting about 70% of the instances are showing up with the yellow version, with the canary version. And so now it will complete the health check again in about 30 or 40 seconds here, and then it will do the next increment. Now I've set this increment to be about 35% that it will increment at a time. I would recommend going smaller, maybe going with like 5%, 10%, something like that. But for demonstration purposes, it just takes a really long time to ramp up that long, and you don't want to watch it all happen. Doesn't make for a good short video. So this, I did 35%. And again, I set the health check here to just watch the number of pod restarts. I'm going to do a video here soon where we look at how we integrate this with LogDNA, Logs.io, maybe Splunk, something like that, where you're monitoring the logs and actually using that for your health check, rather than just looking at the simple pod restarts. Pod restart just means that the pod crashed. It doesn't necessarily mean Doesn't tell you a whole lot about the application. So here we've now ramped it up to 100%. Let's see if it is, there it is, showing 100% yellow. Now it will wait for this rollout to finish, and it will do one final health check, which we could at this point, kill a bunch of these pods by clicking on them, those yellow boxes, and it would roll back to the before version. Because in the background, what you can see is that I haven't changed the pods in order to change the mix. So the old instance is still there. Once it's going to do this final release that you can see on the left happening, you'll see that these pods start to go away. And so that this whole pipeline is now complete and we're done. So that's Canary in a nutshell. Again, you can watch the full version, learn how we do it with Helm, learn how we use the Istio, get a little bit more in depth of how this stuff works. And maybe you just watched all this and you thought, what the heck was that? Well, that's what a Canary release looks like. And so if you watch the full webinar, you'll be able to see that. So until next time, happy Friday and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.